have no turned-in Civ draft or maps available to us. So we're just going to go with the flow of games 1, 2, and 3 and see what happens. But we're going to dive right into the game here. No Civ draft, unfortunate. Same with the maps. Game 1 is Arabia, though, as always.
You can start when ready, Juicy. I'm no longer running the Rex locally.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, Z, as I will call him, because I'm not going to pronounce his name properly in any tries, is going to be our higher seed here in the yellow plane as the Huns on Arabia. And then we have Ronalrage playing Franks here in the gray. John CZ3, thank you for the raid. Love Jared, John, thank you. Oh, fun night, guys. Again, sorry about the delay. Kiddo had a splinter, had to take care of that. But nonetheless, Franks or Huns, who would you prefer here, Jabari?
I mean, I guess I would prefer Huns personally, but that just goes towards my preference for them as an Archers player. I believe Huns are considered better on Arabia because they're more flexible. Franks are pretty highly predictable. I mean, they're fundamentally going to go out tonight. I mean, I guess it's become increasingly popular just mixing crossbows at the start, but in the end, you know exactly where they're going. Whereas with Huns, they truly can go hard cavalry or archers. So if you're going to ask me the question, I'm going to answer Huns.
Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, I think Franks are my favorite Civ. I think they would be my first choice. But I do love Huns as well. No need for houses with Huns, which makes it very nice to not have to get pop capped at all. It's a little bit of a strange start, not having any wood and having to find your food right away. But like Z did a fine job here, was able to take care of things just fine here. Pleb Chariot saying they don't have any monk. They're both lacking monk options, but haven't seen too much monk play thus far.
Yeah, and monks honestly are a-okay with zero upgrade. Like every civ pretty much has the monk techs they need to mix them in on Arabia if they're getting night rushed or something.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like the worst of maps that Z has here. He's not going to be too happy. All three of his golds are very far forward here. Stones are a little safer, but his main gold is way out front there. Then on the opposite side, Ronalrage will have a similar issue, but his one main gold is fairly safe.
Yep. And Ronalrage being very careful to not take any rot under his TC, having his vills chop wood between the sheep and the boar. So I guess he must be a pretty high level player to be seeking such high efficiency.
Yeah, I like that play. It's very nice. On the other side, it's pretty similar, I think, with the build order right now. Both have 3 on wood. Oh no, we actually have 4 on wood for Ronalrage here. So this may be Rush.
I don't know, man. Like 4 on wood is at most 1 vill away from every possible build. I can't confidently predict what either player is going for at this point.
Yeah, I mean, a Drush would be interesting here. It would make for something interesting. I don't think you really put 4 on wood unless you're planning on drushing, in my opinion. But you're right, it
I
doesn't
mean,
differ too much.
I go 4 on wood for the archer's opening. I mean, 4 on wood could be like scouts with some walling. By the way that he was juggling the vills between the stragglers, the sheep, and the boar, it's possible he's just improvising a little bit too.
Yeah, and his walls here looks like he's just gonna have this little easy wall off on the side here. Leave the other side to be later. We do have the forward with his monkey at the moment. We have the same on the other side. Both players headed towards town centers. Really. Like Z realized and pulled away, and we have Ronalrage going for the kill on a Vil here. Should get it if he stays with this. Does indeed, and will make it out with his monkey.
Yeah, very slick. Monkey is an incredible laming force. To wait until you're about to click up to get loom, I think is risky with the monkey as the scout.
A monkey gonna be coming forward for Z here, probably looking for some payback. It gets pulled back immediately, and another Vill comes out to help deal with this as well. It looks like the villagers will be safe for the time being.
And trading Vill HP for Monkey HP, I think, is also a huge win. That Monkey is just like so valuable as early game military to reduce its potency is actually a win here for Ronalrage.
Yeah, Ronalrage not clicking up yet though. He's getting this other Vill out before he clicks up, so it will be a 23 pop up.
Yep, and with 4 on gold, I would just say this is a loose build. Yeah, he's definitely not a strict build order guy. I can say that with great confidence at this point.
I mean, I've stopped by his stream a few times, but usually I catch him in late game, so I don't see his early game build. But nonetheless, he will be up a few minutes behind. Will be a stable for our Hun player. No big surprise there. And here comes the barracks now. Monkey here is here though, but now these villas have loom, so this shouldn't get much done, but will delay the buildings.
Yep, and the monkey does beat a loomed villager quite handily, so even with loom, you gotta be a bit careful here. The monkey's definitely getting some excellent delaying in, as the barracks will still come up in time for Feudal Age, but the idle time induced by the monkey from Zaanosaurus is huge.
Yeah, scouts out and moving forward already here. Gonna try to come forth and do some damage. Gold being the most exposed thing here. Woodline isn't fully walled either, but I do like this very small wall. Just protect the eco on this side approach.
Yeah, though that gold critically is still a point of vulnerability. As let's see what Ronalrage goes for as he hits the next stage. Yep, with 4 on gold, ranges makes sense. But with the scouts arriving before the first range is up, Zaanosaurus has a really wide window here to do considerable damage, as it looks like he's going to pick a Vill probably, certainly going to delay the military. This is a very strong start of Feudal Age for Zaanosaurus.
Yeah, Rage having some early problems here. Gonna lose this Vill perhaps, but ultimately archery range is denied still. This phone will finally go up here. Archery ranges with Franks just seems so strange.
I mean, perhaps Ronalrage just likes archers, which begs the question of why he would go for Franks. I mean, it's pretty commonly seen. Once it's scouted, though, it loses a lot of its potency, like the archers are for Feudal Age and early Castle Age only. I don't know, man. I mean, if I got Franks in a random Civ matchup, I'd probably go archers. So.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here. Obviously, the worker efficiency is a bit worse for Ronalrage here. Still only 1 villager behind here. Picks off that scout very nicely. Has another spear here to defend with. And archers start out of this range.
Actually, very good damage control by Ronalrage. At the end of that, he took no losses. I think the one loss, yeah, was actually on the other side, him with the monkey. So the Eco KD actually favors Ronalrage at this moment. So Ronalrage's self-harm with 2 minutes of TC idle time can't be overlooked.
Yeah, absolutely. And then these scouts trying to find damage, unfortunately, have not been able to do so. Military numbers are the same, but spears with archers going to be a little bit better at the moment. Archery range switch. Oh, and a deleted stable for Z. So he's happy to move on from stable units now.
I'd guess that he probably spawned a ranged unit in the space between those, and he figured I was going to have to delete it sooner or later. Yeah. Always be careful when you're placing your buildings to not create pockets like that.
Yeah, never ideal at all. So, I mean, big difference right now. The Eco KD is actually in favor of Ronalrage, but TC idle time really coming into effect at this.
Yep, and without fletching, Ronalrage can't really take a good fight here. With the introduction of skirms, additionally, it's going to be hard for him to take a good fight. Though, if the spears open up the engagement with some hits on the scouts, in the absence of skirm armor, these archers can still micro them down.
Yeah, it's a very strange opening here, going Franks and heading into archers. To me, just feels wrong. But Z gonna lose 2 skirms for free here, essentially, it looks like. Or almost 2 of them. No patrol on those units. Z is getting rather close to clicking up to the next age. He will tower his gold. Interesting choice. Blacksmith coming down for him, and good number of farms. Quite a few more than Ronalrage has, but his have been working more efficiently.
Yep, as we finally see the fletching click, he has a shocking number of archers for fletching and just becoming in.
Yeah.
Fully walled with this many feudal archers, you got to go forward and try and get your damage in before knights are on the field. Getting back to defend these scouts. I guess it's good to get the kills. These archers are going to lose a lot of their offensive potency very soon. Let's get them across the map and see what we can do.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty all-in, it feels like, here. I think when you go double gold mine here with a tower on it in the front and preemptively towering that gold, feels like it has to be some sort of a 1 TC play.
Yep, the tower kind of takes away the easy TC's option. Looks like he's adding double range himself. Maybe this Frank Archer play is actually in the head of Zaanosaurus here. I don't know. Maybe, I guess CA, yeah. Okay, he's going 3 range. CA. In which case, crossbows ain't bad to have on the field.
Yeah, not bad, but Castle Age isn't going to be that far behind, and if Ronalrage can keep his numbers alive and maybe pick off a few vills here, it could be really good for him. Stable being rebuilt now for Z, as I'm guessing he needed to get bloodlines. He did it before he did so. Armies?
Perhaps the delete. I was gonna say, perhaps the stable delete was premature if you still want it for researches.
And this is actually going to be interesting to see the timing here, because the army was moving forward for Z, are coming back now, so maybe all this. Crossbow will be in, and Castle Age is yet to hit here, so it's going to be a rough fight for Ronalrage here.
Yep, Ronalrage just 1000% needs to run away until he has his own upgrades. I mean, I guess with numbers, he could try to dive this. Like, in a pure damage exchange, he could get the better of it. The crossbows have more range. You're kind of risking a massacre to engage this.
Yeah, I think he knows that. He's running right now. Botkin arrow going to be coming in first, so he's going to try for Botkin. No crossbow click just yet. I think he's actually lacking the food for it right now. So this will not go over all that well. Meanwhile, Cav Archers will be in production here. The archers are probably all going to go down fairly easily against these crossbows and skirms.
He doesn't need to take the engagement until he has crossbow, but it requires Zaanosaurus to micro this pretty meticulously to win the fight. But at this point, it does look like both players have like barely looked away from the fight.
Yep, Cav Archers are out, but there are skirmishers and a few archers here, so it will trade pretty efficiently. As still microing out back here, but everything should be cleaned up for both sides pretty much here, it looks like.
Yep, which is a huge win for Zaanosaurus. I'm pretty sure Ronalrage had like 2 times the units he had there. So a mutual cleanup is kind of devastating for Ronalrage. Probably it's time to give up on ranged units if you're the Franks player. Maybe keep making skirms for the CA or something, I don't know. But ranged units long term is a losing formula for Franks.
Yeah, but he is going to switch into Knight and I think full Skirm here, which I think would be pretty decent composition against Cav Archers. We have a runaway Vil out here for some reason. Don't know what that is about, but all in all, military numbers in favor of Ronalrage, although there are a few archers that don't really have good crossbow upgrade at the moment.
Yeah, man, the cumulative damage missed by not having that crossbow upgrade is really sad to think about. Ronalrage was probably quite close to taking a good fight with those range units before, and even now the lack of crossbow is the thing that's stopping him from pushing back these CA.
Yeah, the CA dive in. They won't find much damage here. We'll probably just turn and run, but good idea to try to push the issue and try to come in here. I think if he would have found no military here, he would have been very happy, but will be pushed back. Did idle the TCs a good bit here. Even at one Cav Archer on the wood line on the other side, idling a bunch of Vils at the moment. And a forward siege workshop is coming. A Vil is on its way. Will be interestingly on this hill. Be a good place to push from, as the crossbows will continue to pressure here quite effectively.
Yep, and I also wouldn't underestimate the value in idling most of the farms from the Frank player for like a minute or so. He's continuing to idle them now. In a way, he's like depriving Ronalrage of several nights worth of food, I'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely doing a very good job of keeping him off of this. And he can afford to lose some of these numbers right now. It's not going to be the world, especially the Cav Archers continually pile in. Ballistics coming in now will be huge. And we do have a Siege Workshop still going to come up. And a Cav Archer over here killing Vils or idling them at the very least.
Yep, and I'm a little worried, man. Ronalrage has no military queue whatsoever right now. Yeah, I wonder what that's about. I guess it's just taking up a lot of his APM to garrison, ungarrison. He's getting attacked from two sides. Has to micro a lot to end this off. As Zaanosaurus is taking a pretty big Vil lead, a pretty big military lead. I mean, Zaanosaurus has absolute map control right now. Ronalrage has to make something happen sooner or later, man.
Yep, I do like the Ram coming out here. Will do good damage. We'll take the market away. And these Cav Archers going to run in, and now the Knights are not home.
Oh boy, and with ballistics here, man, I don't know if you got thumb ring or not, but this ball of CA is going to like one-shot everything.
Yep, Elite Skirm is in now, but there's only 9 of those on the field compared to 30 Cav Archers, 25 in this mass right here, though. Lots of military forward. Knights head forward here. Don't know if they're going to accomplish too much.
I like it, man, especially with the raid going on at home. This gives him a chance, and there's also a pretty good chance that the Knights do considerable work before they're noticed.
Yeah, they are doing some work, but now the force fight at home here is going to really put pressure on Ronald here. He does clean up a few eco units, but Cav Archers have been redirected home, and the town center, starting town center, is in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, and the Mangonel from Zaanosaurus is so nice. In pro games, you see them add a couple Scorpions against the CA, and it completely neutralizes them, basically. With the Mangonel in the mix, Scorpions are obviously not a good choice. Honestly, nothing's a good choice versus 36 CA, man.
Yeah, I'm guessing this will be the GG here before long. The Knights are still doing damage back at home. Not looking away from here, though, simply because it's probably not doing a lot, and this is spread out. Knights are finding damage, but overall, only 10 Vils maybe. And yeah, the GG comes in.
Yep, incredibly clean, good play from Zaanosaurus. Yep, Ronalrage looked solid, but I mean, Zaanosaurus, honestly, man, I like can't distinguish what we just saw from him from like pro play. Maybe it's just my level, but I have a feeling that Zaanosaurus is miles above my own level.
Yeah, it was fairly clean all the way around. Quick look at statistics here. Shows us some timings and I mean, the KD was good. Huns with the CA production, so cheap, so good. Look at the economy.
Zaanosaurus still under 2 minutes total idle time at the end of the game, and he was up to 3 TCs.
Yep,
That is sick, man.
was GG's to both, though. We'll move on to the next game here. But first, Glory Salvia, thank you for the follow. Do appreciate it. Once again, these guys did not submit a Civ draft or what maps they were playing, so we are just going to continue follow suit with what they've sent here and go correct order with no other information. I have Banana Cove.
You should definitely be sure to talk with the eventual winner to make sure that we get the full info for the next set.
Yep, we'll. But we are here, guys. It is going to be Banana Cove and fixing the colors. Italians here for Z against Mongols for Ronalrage. An interesting choice on this map. Not one that we've seen much of.
Yeah, someone has to explain to me why the home civ or the player who chooses this as their home map so often doesn't go for a water civ. I think like 90% of the time it doesn't work out. And Mongols here, I mean, the game is almost always decided before late game, so the only relevant bonus the Mongols have is faster hunt. If all you want is a faster feudal time, Italians do it, Britons do it, like Japanese can theoretically do it, Lithuanians can do it. Mongols are a baffling choice here, man.
I mean, to be fair with the Mongol selection here, they do have an excellent siege workshop, and Ronalrage is hanging out with the Tech Chariot clan, Vividark's clan, so he might have like a really weird arena strategy planned for this. And faster hunt might not be necessarily a bad thing if he's gonna go and try like forward castle and do some sort of like siege play.
I mean, I'm actually looking at the Mongols tech tree right now. They have no civ bonuses for siege. They have a very nice tech tree, and they have the drill unique tech. But the game is likely to be determined before, Imperial siege upgrades and unique techs come into play.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Mongols, though, a lot of people really like the Civ, so we'll see what happens here. Looks like both players are going to go for a water play of sorts, at least to start. Not going to have any Kados, no-dock, fast feudal plays on this one today. Although I really appreciate Kados trying that. I really made it kind of interesting, kind of put some ideas in some people's heads too, I think.
And seeing Nuclear Pasta also open galleys and win makes me wonder if the pro meta on this and all the other maps is completely different than what we've thought the meta is.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, fire ships make a lot of sense here, but if you can get a galley opening, I think galley is just so good if you can actually make it work.
I'm pretty sure the conventional wisdom is that galley openings work if the rush distance is large enough that you're able to like mass up to 6 or so before the first engagement. And that is certainly not the case on this map. But I don't know, man. These pros are like literally playing a different game than us, man. It's like if you watch the NBA, the players, they're like shooting down at the hoop. If you actually go to play basketball, you're playing a different game, you know?
Yeah. No, it's definitely interesting to see how the meta shifts on certain maps that we've seen for a long time, where these are some of the highest elo players that we've ever had play on these maps. So, minus, of course, the Arabia nomads of the world, but like some of these custom maps, it'd be really interesting to see how some of these players take it.
For sure, man. I mean, the top players in this bracket are properly top pro level. Perhaps they're not literally the current world champions, but I think the pro meta will be fully explored in this.
Yeah. Lots of good things coming for the rest of this bracket. So if you guys haven't followed, I'd suggest you do so. We have a round of 64 right now. Round of 32 games should be able to be played this week. I do have to make an announcement for players to try to figure out who their opponent is in the next round, but we should be pretty good to go.
Yep. And to address Zealous in chat, there's deer right outside the gate, and then there's tons of extra deer as well. And indeed, it wouldn't surprise me if the top level... Well, I don't know, man. I feel like pushing deer is actually unnecessary for a pro water build. The pros are so insane, man. They'll shave seconds if action will do it. So possibly actually pushing the deer is the optimal build.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, pushing deer on this map doesn't seem really worthwhile, in my opinion. You can just go out here and mill this later on, if you even want to or need to do.
But Zealous is saying pushing in Dark Age so that you're taking hunt collection rate rather than sheep collection rate to get a slightly faster uptime. And the pros do sick things, dude. They're not human.
Yeah, it could be good. We'll wait and see if anyone goes for that. I don't think we've actually had anyone that at all. But Ronalrage is going to click up here. He's going to be quite a ways behind here. Kind of unfortunate for him. Going to have 5 fishing ships as the 5th is in production right now. And I think those are all going to be lost fairly quickly here.
Quite a ways behind is an understatement here. This is enough of a difference for the fishing ships to 100% get cleaned up and for like 4, if not 6 military units to be on the field before Ronalrage gets his first out. I think that Ronalrage is possibly GG to build order here.
I mean, he is going to try to go triple dock behind this, so he is going to try to fight for water, but fire ships should be coming out right. Yep, here comes the first one. Second one will be quickly behind. And these fishing ships will all be in danger here. I think he actually canceled that last one, so he sees the uptime and realizes he's going to be behind. And yeah, there is a large elo difference, guys. For those wondering or just joining us for the first time, this is an open division, so lowest player was like 1100 that joined, highest player was like 2K3, top 40 in the world. So first round there will be a lot of high elo discrepancies. Second round even there will be some.
Yeah, it's kind of expected that every player after the second round will be like 1750 or higher, though.
Yeah.
So even within there, man, there's still room for some big favorites. But with a tournament this large, a lot of games in the round of 16, the top seeds are expected to be lopsided.
Absolutely. And we'll see if that like straightens out a ton in the next round. I think by the time we get to the round of 16, it will all be like 1750 plus players. But, I mean, honestly, real shout out to all these guys. They came in here knowing that, and they still wanted to participate in the tournament. So anyone that's on the lower end of the elos that wanted to participate in this, I appreciate it. It's awesome. Wanting to be this involved in a tournament where you have little to no chance to winning even one game sometimes would definitely persuade people to not join, in my opinion.
Yeah, we have already seen a game upset, though, with like a 500 elo gap.
Yeah, Tech Chariot pulled that one out, man. You guys haven't seen it.
Some more, man.
You guys haven't seen that. It's on YouTube. Tech Chariot versus... who was it against?
I forget the name of his opponent.
So do I. He's in chat. He can tell us.
But these lower-rated players are showing up. Game 1 honestly didn't look like a stomp. Alacog versus Exorcist a couple days ago. Alacog, I mean, they're showing up, but at the end of the day, a 500, 600, 700 elo difference kind of predicts the winner with 99.9% accuracy. So
yeah, and Ronalrage is actually coming back on water decently here. Has the numbers advantage right now, and we have a galley switch coming in here with some rafts, some demo rafts out onto the map already. So,
but dude, what are we witnessing? How is Ronalrage in this?
I took some good fights, took some really good fights, and this could be really good too. The demos are coming in, demos for both sides. Not bad for either. I think D probably got the better of the demos, but ultimately this is closer than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, Zaanosaurus has only an incremental lead, but it is a solid one at that. His eco lead is considerable, plus the Italian's cheaper click to Castle Age kind of suggests he's going to get up to Castle Age a lot sooner. But Ronalrage is highly competitive with the military still, somehow still has fishing ships alive. I feel like we were almost calling GG way early for Ronalrage there.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, Ronalrage still in this, looking good. I kind of agree with what Tech Chariot's saying here. The smaller and smaller differences between players at higher levels, the higher you go. And I definitely think that is an accurate statement. But the small differences add up over time here, and it is a 7 villager difference right now. Military numbers still separated by a few, and I think it's because there's no food eco behind this for Z. Interesting. I thought it was because he was going to be getting ready to click up, but he has not committed that much to farms, actually.
Yep, it looks like he has been fully committed to winning water in feudal at all costs, and he's barely doing so. Fortunately, though, Ronalrage has tremendous idle time. Almost the entire Vil difference can be accounted for by idle time. As Ronalrage takes this engagement, it's a bad one, man, especially considering the repair advantage plus defender's advantage for faster reinforcements. I don't know why he took that. I guess it can be hard to estimate things when there's so many units clumped up.
I mean, he took a weird fight, but he did keep some numbers down, and he is still trying to produce military. He's not out of it. He's still only 7 Vils behind, so as long as he keeps his TC working, he'll be okay. This monkey has killed almost all this stone wall, unfortunately for him. But, no, I mean, give a lot of credit to these guys. Like I said, big elo differences, and it doesn't look like they're big elo differences. Sure.
The higher rated players seem to be treating their opponents with respect and not like going for anything too unusual or crushing. Often just taking small advantages, guarding them, and often by late Castle Age or early Imperial Age, it's just too overwhelming to ignore, and that's when the game concludes. Yeah, Zaanosaurus unable to finish the opponent here in Feudal Age.
Yep, he will make it to the Castle Age with a pretty significant advantage here. But getting pretty close with that as well here is Ronalrage. He's actually going to sell some wood here to get the gold that is required, apparently. And he should be clicking up here anytime. And not going to be, what, maybe 35, 45 seconds behind.
Yeah. Very nice demo from Ronald, as Ronald finds himself fires versus galleys, which on this map, as I keep saying, I still believe is a winning formula, but you do kind of have to split your fires into 2 groups to force the sandwich.
Yeah, and you have to have 2 groups to do that, and he does not right now. But no worries, no worries. Official Ash Attack Banano Club. I came here from the red months ago for the win. Yeah, man. Thanks for having you. Good to have you. Can't talk. An Emu Warrior. Is there a Michi map in the?
There's Black Forest, and late game on this map kind of plays out like a weird sort of Michi type thing. But no, there's no map that's literally impossible to finish off prior to post in.
Exactly. And we've had some Black Forest games, not many. But once things get down the best of 7s, maps become a lot more difficult to avoid playing on. Early on here, these best of 3s, little different story.
And I'm kind of hoping that one of the pro players just has either a soft spot for Black Forest or has a feeling that they're just a strong Black Forest player, and we'll see a lot more games on that map. So far, across like 100 sets almost we've cast, I think we've only seen it twice.
Yeah. It's not a popular map. Obviously, not a big fan base for that one, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Ronalrage clicked up super late to Castle Age here. He could have clicked up for a while, but kept producing some bills. Wasn't the greatest there for him. and he is floating a good bit of res, but interestingly enough, he is not onto stone just yet either, so he is going to lose water quite easily here. We'll have to transition into some sort of a boom. And behind this, a lot of upgrades coming in for the Navy for our Italian player.
Yeah, and if you're Zaanosaurus here, you must be so comfortable in this position. It seems like the Zaanosaurus feels no sense of urgency to come forward on land. And truthfully, he doesn't need to. There are so many different ways Zaanosaurus can win this game now. Ronalrage probably should be panicking trying to do something crazy, because staying safe at home is not a winning strategy whatsoever.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we don't see him on stone here, honestly. A castle would definitely secure his shoreline a little bit better. You already see that your opponent wants to knock down this wall and has been knocking at the door for quite some time. We'll have a town center on that. An immediate barracks coming down in this age as well. So he is going to attempt to jump onto somewhat of a boom here, or he could potentially be trying some sort of an imp play, but dropping this TC would say otherwise.
And when you lose water, yeah, you either need to hard commit to one TC, try and do a castle drop and push them, or try and boom back into it. I guess he's trying the boom approach, but he's, yeah, going to be behind on Eco by a lot to start, with Zaanosaurus effectively being like 6 TCs if you count docks as TCs. The military privilege you get from controlling water is also tremendous, man. Like, you can see right now, he's just wrecking Ronalrage's buildings. He's going to be denying one of his golds. A little bit, he'll be denying the stone. Has the ability to land. In the future, he's going to have the ability to hit stuff with cannon galleons. And honestly, man, I call GG when I lose water on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, too. I mean, realistically, but this is a best of 3. It's his last potential game here, so he's got to try to stick it out, and I can appreciate that. 3 TCs behind this, though, for Z, with the water control, with 12 fishing ships, and he did get gill nets. He will be quite far ahead with that economy, and it will be cheaper for him to go up to the Imperial Age as well. So, Monkey even come in here to do some damage, dragging villagers out here. Very well, very well.
Zaanosaurus having 0 commitment to any sort of land military at this point. I guess he was maybe just hoping he could force the GG on Navy, but if Ronalrage doesn't want to call it, Zaanosaurus is going to need to start making something on land pretty soon.
Oh, he got his Elite Skirm upgrade, is producing Elite Skirm, is going to drop a castle on this hill forward here, so he will have some sort of an option for Bangadai, or just going into Elite Skirm at this point. Monastery for our Italian player, so he's thinking about getting his buildings university, so he will have what he needs to go to Imp after this. And there is a transport ship here. There's only one, and there's only 2 vills in it, but a forward siege workshop at this point could be something to watch out for here.
Indeed, and we got Ronalrage in chat, kicking himself a little bit. Honestly, man, I think you played it great. It's your early build. The opponent just had their initial military unit so much faster. But you took good fights and everything, and I will never criticize a player's play once they lose water on this map, because it's kind of an impossible problem to try and figure out how to win this map when you're so far behind after losing water.
Yep, and now we are having Imperial Age come in. We will have a Monastery Siege Workshop dropped here. And honestly, 2 vills, a little surprising he didn't bring more, but does not have the stone for a castle.
Yep, but monks and siege, especially if the siege includes bombard cannons, is possibly enough to finish this, though Ronalrage is showing that he ain't going down so easily. Zaanosaurus is gonna need to make some land military sooner or later, but we're still waiting for that first barracks.
Yeah, I mean, he may not need it if he's just going to go into Siege Monk here. I think Siege Monk could actually win him the game. The current military out here for Ronalrage. But yeah, like we said earlier, elo difference is quite massive. And it looked good up until the mid-Castle Age, I'd say, where water was completely lost and Ronalrage was unable to really transition into a big boom right away.
Yep, and your boom is just so much harder compared to the opponent who has fish. Like when you have fish, your TCs just run so easily, the imp so much more easily.
Yeah.
It really takes heroics to win on this map after losing water.
Yeah, and we do have another dock forward here. This is really good for Z. He's gonna redock, have Fisher cannot talk fishing ships be more efficient, and then we have a forward town center even coming here. Chemistry immediately, probably gonna try to get those cannon galleons out on the field. 30 villager difference roughly here. Mangonai have done a good job to deal with the mangonels thus far. Like another one's going to go down.
Very interesting choice for Zaanosaurus to add another forward TC when he has over 100 economy units already. He really is taking his sweet time with this one. I almost feel like at this point he's like personally committed himself to making only Navy, Siege, and Monks, because to not add a barracks even now is very peculiar.
I mean, it is. It definitely is. But he will have all the attacks and ballistics in for archers. So switching into archers won't take that long to produce. And Ronalrage is still deep into Castle Age here.
For sure, yeah. I do have a feeling, though, that Ronalrage is almost being toyed with, man. We might be seeing a little cat and mouse at this point.
Yep, stable actually coming up. So the barracks has been built somewhere. It is in the base here for Z. So he's just going to add stables and siege and try to come in here and prevent his opponent from expanding on the map. There are quite a bit of mineral resources over here, and obviously wood is never an issue on this map. If it becomes an issue on this map, we have sat here for many, many hours.
I really hope it does not become an issue.
Villagers in trouble here, trying to drop a forward castle with minimum villager counts here. 2 to be exact. Needs to bring some more over here. I don't even see the transport ship here, so maybe he is bringing some more over. He did send that home, but as soon as the bombard cannons come out, as we do see one on the field, all of these buildings will be under threat, and the bombard cannons will probably just sit close to the Navy.
Yeah, but even still, man, Mangadai are so excellent at sniping bombard camp. I mean, even with these low numbers of Mangadai, they can probably two-shot a bombard cannon, maybe only lose a couple Mangadai in the trade.
Yeah.
Zaanosaurus, man. I mean, I guess I can kind of appreciate what he's doing. Like, I guess sometimes you do something similar on Arena or something, where if you started out going 1 TC and you feel like you're winning, you say, all right, I'll finish this 1 TC. It doesn't matter how long it takes. But Ronalrage is getting up to full economy at this point. I mean, eventually, Ronalrage is going to have full military mass unless Zaanosaurus really properly finishes him on land.
Yeah, Imp was denied there. Wasn't that TC? Which is really unfortunate for Ronalrage. He really needs to get up to Imperial Age. Unable to do so. Falling farther and farther back into this corner and into the corner up here. But right now, more vills are coming over here to finish this castle. And I don't think that Ronalrage realized that he lost his Imperial Age. It's always devastating.
Probably not, as Zaanosaurus is teching into cavalry. Alright, so he is going to finish this properly now. No more playing. Ronalrage has proved resilient, and Zaanosaurus is going to have to close this out with a proper late game.
Yep, and these are elite cannon galleons already as well here, being a little bit cheaper for Italians cannot just go for the regular Kenning Galleon at that rate, right? So, oh, and look at this, just stables right in the base here. GG will come in with the castle going up and that there. So Ronalrage will be going out, and yeah, TC Research and Imp died. He realizes now. So Zaanosaurus, however you pronounce his name, will move on here. GG's from Ronalrage though. Was a lot of fun, guys. Hope you enjoyed. You have another set prepared for you.
And I am sorry, Juicy and everyone, but I do have to go a little early tonight. Juicy, your solo casting is excellent. I'm sure you got this, man, and I'm sure I'll be back with you again probably tomorrow and like 5 out of the 6 upcoming days or something like that.
Indeed, indeed. Did you update the farewell song?
That Google Drive folder should have them all.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, we're gonna say farewell here to Ronalrage in just a second. Update brackets. Second, let me load this up.